I'm excited about this recipe though because I think we all like Chinese takeout, but who likes all the crap that they put in it, like the MSG and all the weird oils, and so this is great because we can get something really flavorful that will cook fast. It feels like Chinese takeout, but a lot healthier. So, did everybody have a chance to marinate their chicken before we started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's all marinated.
Were you able to marinate, David?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the first thing we should do is probably get some rice on to cook. I'm gonna do mine in the Instant Pot. You guys do it however you want. And then we'll come back and we'll prep our vegetables because when we stir fry, we wanna make sure everything's ready to go. It goes really, really quick. So we'll just work on our green beans and our scallions. There's not a ton of ingredients here today, so it's easy. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is just wash and trim my green beans. If you guys already have them pre-trimmed, I'm gonna cut them in half once. And tweak it however we want. We can make it a little sweeter, we can make it a little tangier, add some more vinegar. This is a good base, and then we'll decide what we want to do from here. The arrowroot, we are gonna hold off on that. That doesn't go inside the sauce, that's actually gonna go on the chicken. So let's just put that aside, but this is the sauce ingredient. So I'm grabbing a little bowl, gonna do my sauce. Throw this on kind of at the very end, or after our green beans and our chicken have been cooked. And it's gonna...
We've run out of stock, so I'm just using water. Should I season that at all, or?
Yeah, no, I would hold off. Let's see if we even need to add it to the sauce. We might actually add it to the wok if things get too sticky, but let's just do the sauce. I think that this tastes pretty good, but I would like it to have a little bit more tang to it. So I'm gonna do another ½ teaspoon of the rice wine vinegar. If you want that as well, you can follow along with me, or you can keep it just the way it is. So I think it's better just a little bit more tang. You think so too? Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna grab my chicken and my oil, and what we're gonna do is we're going to get the pan really hot with our oil, and then we'll add our chicken after we coat it in the arrowroot. So that's what the arrowroot is for. We'll get a little plate and set our chicken pieces on it and dust it with the arrowroot, kind of toss them in there, and it'll give it a little bit of a crispiness. And it also kind of gives us this coating that allows the rest of the sauce to cling to it. So that's how we get that nice kind of clingy sauce. And you'll recognize the texture once you eat it. You'll be like, oh, that's what they do in the restaurants. Okay.
So the sauce that we just made, that's going in the pan right now?
Nope, not yet. So the sauce we made, we're just gonna set it aside. Yeah, so we'll do oil. Actually, and before we even do our oil, we might wanna go ahead and lay our chicken out on a platter, dust it with the arrowroot, and then heat up our oil. And our sauce is actually gonna go in very last. It's one of the last things we're gonna put in.
To prepare your chicken for stir frying, sprinkle with arrowroot powder or cornstarch. You can work in batches to make sure that it all gets coated. Here I have about 8 chicken thighs, and I use a 1/4 cup of arrowroot powder. Now put the oil in the pan and let it become hot. Drop your chicken in And make sure you separate it so that the individual pieces can become brown on both sides. You don't need to fully cook your chicken thighs at this point. You just want them to get brown, and they'll continue to cook as the dish heats. Again, we're working in batches to make sure that we don't cool off our wok too much. And once these are done, we'll move them over to the side and get a new batch going on the hot surface of the wok. If you're using a skillet or frying pan, you'll probably have to work in batches and completely remove the chicken once it's done so that it doesn't become overcooked or burned. But in the wok, we can use the sides to push the meat up and keep it off of the direct heat, but still allow it to cook. Make sure you use enough oil, add more if you need, because this really is stir frying, so we want to make sure that we have enough oil in the pan to get those nice, crispy, dark edges on our chicken. We're doing our glass a little bit here. I'm also salting as I go. We don't want to make it too salty because our soy sauce at the end has a good amount of salt in it, but just a little seasoning as we're stir frying here. So once the last of the chicken is done, we'll throw in our green beans and make sure to coat those in oil. Add more if you need. And again, we're just kind of pushing our chicken up the side of the pan and keeping our green beans on that flat part of the wok where it gets the most heat. Now we're going to put the lid on and just let it cook for a little while. And once our green beans are tender, we'll stir everything together. Make sure nothing's burning. Put our lid back on until our green beans are done. Now it's time for our sauce. Reduce the heat some so it doesn't burn. And mix it well into the dish. If there are any little brown bits that have stuck to the wok, make sure you scrape those up. And it's time to plate.